We're live.
Alexis,
Christy.
how did you fall in love with makeup and beauty?
It is a very ironic story for those of you who know me now. I was 13 and I was lucky enough to travel to Greece with my family every summer. And my sister's actually 8 years older than me, so I was lucky enough to also get taken out to nightclubs. And of course, in order to look like I belonged at the nightclubs, I had to use makeup. So I learned how to do the smoky eye, or some version of it, when I was about 13, and it was very much what I thought I was supposed to be doing to attract all the cute young Greek boys at the nightclub. So, and from there it always evolved. It was me doing whoever I could kind of get my hands on, doing their face, teaching them about products, telling them, you know, what to use, what not to use. And it's kind of been a natural reoccurring theme in my life, and I always seem to get drawn right back into makeup no matter what I'm doing.
Nice. 13, so it was about 13 years old?
Yeah, I was 13, and you know, after that, every summer I got a little bit better and a little bit better. My school pictures, the eyeshadow started to blend a little bit more as high school kind of came around, and to this day I look at my eyebrows and I get a little sad, but you know, we all live and learn after we make mistakes.
Why, you made them too thin?
Oh my god, one of them was like here, basically.
I had a traumatizing experience when I got them waxed. Someone like started it midway, like they waxed off that essential part over here.
looks like it grew back in.
It's not fully there. My eyebrow girl tells me I have a little bit to go.
Little patches.
Yeah.
So how about you? What's your story? When did your love affair begin?
So I was probably about middle school, was definitely 5th, 6th grade. And I remember going to my aunt's house who used to do makeup for like Broadway celebrities, models, and she would pull out her drawers, and like every time I would come over she would let me pick a piece. So I always used to pick Chanel, like compact like this. My first compact was Vanities, purple. And I didn't really knew what Chanel stood for. I just fell in love with the compact and the colors and how soft they felt and like the quality and the texture of the eyeshadow. And then slowly I started to build my makeup wardrobe, and I would also do people's makeups for events. Like I would do my friends for proms and family members. But when I was really little, I remember I just wanted to wear like mascara and lip gloss, and my mom, I made her sign a little piece of paper with like an X and a line that she said I could wear it in 8th grade, because I knew they would keep pushing back the date that I would be allowed to wear it. Like in 8th grade, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna wear this. She'd be like, no, wait, high school. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna have this in paper. And then I remember wearing mascara and lip gloss. I wasn't allowed to do the whole 9, but I definitely would do it like playing around with my friends.
I used to make my mom wake up and take the free Lancome quads. The color was platinum, and I used to make her do it at like 7 o'clock in the morning before 7th grade because I didn't know how to do it until I finally got so fed up with her doing it.
She would do your eyeshadow?
Oh yeah, every morning. She would do my eyeshadow and I would make her blow out my hair.
Oh my god.
Downstairs at the kitchen counter, and I got so sick of waiting for her to wake up, and sometimes she would like, you know, half-ass it, and I was like, this isn't gonna be good enough.
Oh,
so
God.
I started doing it myself.
This, I remember in high school I used to ask my mom to do braids, because I couldn't do braids myself, and I would be such a stickler, like, no, this one isn't even, and then I would be like a little brat, but she could, yeah, and I was like dependent on her, so then I became independent by learning to do it myself too.
So when did you start actually working and getting paid to do makeup?
The first time I worked, that would be in retail, right? You mean? Or like private events?
And
Because I did events like bridal and prom before I ever worked in retail. I never thought I was going to be able to work in retail because I was in college and then I was in grad school. But during grad school is when I started working with Bare Minerals.
Right.
And then I worked with Kate Somerville and Laura Mercier. And ultimately, I would always be working with Chanel, like we could cross-sell. But I found myself learning all of the products and like knowing them to compare them, because I would never just sell like one brand, you know?
No, of course, that you can never. I mean, I had a similar experience. I remember I was about 19 years old and I was wandering around the department store, and I was kind of lost in that time in my life, and I didn't really know what I wanted to be studying, and I didn't know where I wanted to be working, and I was still babysitting and, you know, selling pizzas and doing whatever I had to do to just make extra money. And a Greek woman kind of approached me who knew my mother and asked me if I liked doing makeup, and said she had an opening for NARS. And at the time, I remember I had no clue as to what NARS even was. I think I had been to like...
Yeah, you're going so well.
Oh, thank you. I think I had been to the counter in like Saks once with my sister and, you know, bought like that Pivotal Orgasm blush just because it was called Orgasm, but I didn't know anything. And then I had that amazing opportunity.
You didn't know anything about orgasms?
Yeah, I did not know actually anything about orgasms or the blush for that matter until I started working for NARS, and I had a few more years under my belt in college.
They have another blush that has a dirty name.
Yeah, they do. They have actually a lot of names that are dirty and a lot of names that are exotic locations. So for me, NARS seemed so natural. It seemed like a natural fit because a lot of the eyeshadows or the foundations were named after really interesting places, and I love to travel.
And even in Greece.
Yes.
So many Greek.
So many Greek names, and so it was an interesting brand. It was extremely pigmented, extremely colorful, and it allowed me to be as creative as I wanted to be because the palette seemed endless. And from there, I mean, every year the amount that I learned working on a sales floor just... it would blow me away because no two faces are the same, no two complexions are the same in terms of color, in terms of the people. It was an amazing experience, and it was actually when I was with NARS that I was fortunate enough to meet Christy and our paths crossed. And kind of what brought us here today, to have just a candid look at the beauty landscape and what that really means in 2016.
So yeah, ultimately we're here. We've been in the beauty industry for 10 plus years, formally, informally, whatever. We've done New York Fashion Week, brides,
countless brides, bat mitzvahs,
retail, beauty stylists. We've been to extensive trainings for application technique, product development. So our knowledge and experience is pretty like wide ranging, and we both have similar points of view in regards to the current landscape of beauty tutorials, and we think that there are good things about them, like they're empowering, they let you learn how to do them, but
great visual references for colors and, you know, new launches or, you know, product releases.
And yeah, so the overall mission that they're trying to do could, you know, is helpful, but we do think that that type of makeup that you're seeing where they're beating up their face and they're doing face paint, and it's too much makeup. It's for print, it's for photographs, it's for film, it's not for everyday wear. So yeah, the application, we want to teach you how to make yourself look naturally enhancing your natural features without contouring to the degree where you're changing your bone structure. And if we were to see you the morning after, we wouldn't
recognize you.
Yeah, who is this in my bed? So ultimately, we want to redefine beauty with you, and
yeah, it's really about redefining beauty and also building a better relationship with beauty products and services. A lot of people are really, I know personally, I remember going to the MAC counter when I was 17 and being scared almost. Like,
well, I would be scared going to the MAC counter.
I would feel like those women were like goddesses and gods, and that I had, you know, no business kind of being in the same airspace as them. But what you eventually realize once you find yourself either that being in those exact women's shoes or, you know, in the counter next to them, in the case of NARS, you start to really understand that every single person is going to have a very unique experience with beauty products, and they shouldn't necessarily just put on the latest trend or the, you know, the latest product that their best friend recommended, because it really takes away what makes it so personal and what makes it so experiential. So that's our ultimate goal, really, is to bring you a new definition and a new way to experience beauty for yourself.
In a more personal, intimate, organic way. where you're gonna be empowered, because we're never gonna just have a 15-second clip of us stripping colors down our face and using the beauty blender to blend them all together. We're gonna be talking, and if you don't want to listen to us talk, then we're not the channel for you, because we're going to be educating. It's going to be informational. We're definitely funny and shit, so like it's going to be entertaining. We're characters, but we're used to helping people one-on-one. So if you come to our chair, we'll spend an hour with you. We will help you. We'll take you from soup to nuts, from your skincare to your, afterglow bronzer. But what we want to do by coming to you like live and streaming on a video is we want to have a more like, a wider reach, because we both work better person to person.
It's a much different dynamic when you're actually sitting with a subject and you get to focus on them and their needs. So,
and this is going to be a lifestyle type of video. It's not just going to be color, makeup, this palette, da-da-do. You can't create and consume at the same time. We're creators. If you want a beauty channel that has been, there's nothing out there that's totally fulfilling your needs, we're gonna fulfill your needs, and we're gonna teach you about needs that you never knew before, and we'll fulfill those too. And we're gonna teach you how to fulfill your own needs. Okay, so you're not dependent on us. We're gonna educate and empower you. You'll be good to go.